consumers, and welcome to another episode of Tech Talk, where we give you a rundown of choice news for the week. My name is Corporate Christian, and we're so glad you could join us today. With me are official Ryan Epps and Casual Chris.
How you guys doing?
How are you guys?
Good.
Yeah,
Yes.
living life.
And with-
What's that?
yes. And with that being said, Ryan, what's our first topic for today?
Well, our first topic is the new Apple Vision Pro. Apple released, or debuted, I should say, on Monday, the Apple Vision Pro, a headset, a VR headset and AR headset that will cost $3,500. It features two custom micro LED or OLED displays for 4K TV watching, and you can even get some inserts for people who need glasses. So it's pretty innovative technology, I must say. But Christian, is Apple's new entry into the AR or VR space too late in the game, and will it sell as well as the iPhone? Also, how are you able to gain that much riz, swag, and drip in a short amount of time, Christian? What the hell?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Ryan. I wasn't always born this way, but when I finally embraced my corporate side, it just oozed out.
Yeah.
What was your first question, by the way?
Oh, apologies. So it was is Apple's new entry into the AR VR space too late in the game, and will it sell as well as the iPhone?
I just want to say everything is dumb, but this is Apple. Apple will always be Apple. They will price everything based on what they feel the people will actually eat. That's it.
Raise of hands. Who's gonna buy? Like, who? If you had the money, would you buy it?
Yes.
If you had the money.
If I had the money. If I had an extra $3,500 laying around, then yeah. And this type stuff is honestly, I've been on Android now for better part of 10 years. And something like this would probably bring me back. I mean, I use a MacBook, but like for myself, I've been Android forever now. So, but something like this, I might.
Have either of you used VR before?
No.
No, Christian.
Is this real life?
Is this is
Sorry, I can't actually do this anymore. Like, fuck this. Like, this is just so dumb. I even wore this. Like, this isn't even me.
Oh shit.
This isn't even me. Like, damn.
is this
Hey, here's the
real
thing.
life?
Like, to all the Tech Times viewers, like, I understand we've been at it for a couple of episodes now, and we haven't actually introduced ourselves to you guys. This is us every week, unscripted. This is who we are. I will
Absolutely.
forever be an adult, middle-aged Asian man who still hasn't let go of his childhood. Chris will always be a bearded white man who will always be full of riz. And Ryan will just be Ryan. So please enjoy the rest of our show while we still be ourselves. Thank you.
I like
Sounds
it.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, shall we continue?
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. Do you want to go to the next topic, or you want to keep talking about AR?
Yeah, let's keep talking about AR and how uneventful this is for my life.
Well, I mean, I think right now, it's uneventful for everyone's life, right? It's brand new. This entire, well, I'm not going to say brand new. I feel like it's something I've seen in maybe like Total Recall or something. One of those movies where like, everything's like, even Tony Stark, right? He's sending things with his hands, and this Apple thing is very similar because it tracks your eyes. You scroll with like you're doing like this or something.
Yep.
Like it's very, very advanced. And I feel like, I mean, I'm not an Apple insider. I feel like it kind of came out of nowhere, and I really like it. I'm just more so, this is the first iteration. The price is insane. But I mean, within the next, 5-10 years for sure, like this could be something that's as common as having a smartphone.
Interesting.
Yeah, like we
Hmm.
kept on harping regarding price. Like, will there ever be a time like I think before when they introduce an iPhone, they introduce a much lower one with a much lower price. Do you think they'll ever introduce something of that similar caliber so this could be open to everybody? Or
Probably.
do they just want this to stay the way they are since everyone is actually consuming their product regardless of the price?
Probably. I think the Vision Pro, like the Pro name in there, the Pro tag is supposed to say that there will be other iterations down the line. Hopefully, hopefully cheaper. Hopefully a little bit less expensive. I just found it interesting that someone said on Twitter, $3,500 for something that doesn't actually change your life, really, right? Like, sure, you get the cool new tech and you might be able to play some games, watch movies, but does it really drastically change your life all that much? Not really.
No.
I found that really interesting. It's like, you spend all this money for what, really? Like, what are you getting out of it? Nothing really substantially, I don't know, change
Although this
worthy.
is a breakthrough, we do have to admit that the previous Apple products actually, not necessarily they started it, but it actually changed our lives, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
With the introduction of the iPhone, the iPad,
Yep.
iProducts. But for this one, I think this is pretty much just a flex for me.
Yes.
Like a majority of what it can actually do can be done by the physical form factor, like screens. And it's
Yep.
the curved technology isn't even that young. It's been around for quite a couple of years.
And we haven't even gotten into the fact that it has a 2-hour battery life. Like, you have to connect a battery to it. That's, you can still have it plugged into the wall and have as much life with it as you really want. But when you have it plugged in, say you're on an airplane or something like that, like you have on the go, 2 hours, that's all you get. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know if think about it. They're touting the fact that you can watch 4K movies and stuff. Most movies now are over 2 hours. So
Mm.
what a movie am I gonna watch? Like, it's just I don't know. It's an interesting form factor, I think, when it comes to
So
yeah.
what price point would you be comfortable at, Ryan?
Honestly,
Like
when they were
typically.
announcing it, so I was watching the whole show. I'm like, this has to be like $2,000. It has to be
Mm.
$3,500. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, it's just feels like such an Apple cash grab too. Like, I don't know. Like, I understand that there's like multitude of cameras, there's a multitude of technology in this, and I think the price point says a lot for like where they're trying to push this. Like, it's supposed to be a developer device. Like, it's supposed to be they're dipping their toes into this new realm and they're gonna see how it works. Maybe it doesn't pan out the way they like, and they just kind of just leave that space entirely. But we've said it before, metaverse, all that stuff, it's gonna be huge. AR is gonna be huge. This is gonna take off. It's just not, it's gonna take a little bit of time. As Christian had mentioned, didn't people weren't buying the iPhone automatically, boom, it took time.
Mm.
They first released the iPod Touch and then it evolved and it changed the
Mm.
face of technology. And I'm genuinely curious to see how this will fare, just long term.
Yeah. Speaking of the iPad, I think tablet use has fallen off, right? Over the past couple
As
of
it,
years.
I don't even have an
Yeah.
iPad. I don't even
Yeah.
have any of those.
How much
I
is
had
the price
one.
for this? It's more than 3,000, right?
$3,500.
Like, do we even have a comparison for it of a similar kind or much nearer to it?
The
Like,
closest thing we could really get is the new Quest 3. Meta is
Mm.
releasing a Quest 3. You know how much that is?
yeah, how much?
$500. PlayStation also has the PSVR 2, $500. See, most of these headsets aren't even over $1,000. So,
Right.
like, what? Like, I could get a used car for that. Like, it's just
Mm.
it's ridiculous. But it says a
Like,
lot
like,
to what Apple's trying to do with it, right? Like, they're not positioning it in the same realm as the Quest 3, as the PSVR 2, as even Valve's Index. They don't want it to be like that. They want it to be something completely different. They want it to be like Google Lens. They want it to be this new revolutionary form of technology that,
Yeah.
we're getting there, but we're not there yet, right?
And
That's
we
why
all
it's
know what happened.
$3,500.
Yeah, and we all know what happened to Google Lens, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It
The thing with
crashed and
me is
burned.
I wouldn't mind shelling out that kind of money if this was an open infrastructure. Like, what would happen if you damage it? Can't
Yeah.
even. Let's take for example their studio displays. Can't even take off the plug.
Yep. Yeah.
So how much of an issue would be the price point if all of a sudden the maintenance for this thing is actually going to be a burden for you? If you're going to shell out another 3,000 for replacement.
But that's the thing, like,
So
look at people who buy Mercedes or BMWs, similar thinking, like, yeah, there, or even Range Rovers, right? People will mess up their Range
yeah,
Rovers, and like just getting a new wheel, a tire change can be like $3,000.
it
So these people
it
don't
might
really
be.
care if they're already invested in the Apple ecosystem. They don't care about that.
Yeah, that's the
They'll
thing.
spend the money.
Like they still have, in case of the cars, they still have the car. They're just gonna
Yeah,
change the wheel. At least
you're
it's a
absolutely right.
bit off the price. But if you're gonna have to buy the same thing just because it's a closed infrastructure, no.
You're
Just
absolutely
no.
right. Yeah.
Well, do you think Apple? I feel like this is a psychological move. The pricing of Apple, whereas just I think naturally we equate, high quality with high price, right? So if they come out and say, "Oh, this is $3,500," immediately you think, "Damn, this must be like this is good stuff." Where if they was like, "Hey, we have this new thing, and it's 500, the same as it's going to be like, oh, well, I already have this," or even if they doubled the price, it'd be like, now it's
It's
just an
just
overpriced version of what
Yeah.
Meta has. So it's kind
Interesting.
of a, you know what I mean?
But
Like,
most of the conversations that I saw on Twitter, most people were like vastly different from that. Vastly different from, wow, this must be really cool tech. More so, oh, it's just Apple being Apple, right? Like, I found that interesting because, like, I think that's a great move. That's a smart move. But it's Apple. Like, if it's Apple doing it, and Apple always overprices its shit, like to the point where like it's kind of a joke. Like,
right.
what a cable like to play music is like $60. Like, what? I could get
Yeah.
that for like $10 on Amazon, right? Similar concept, I feel like, and it definitely is a psychological move on their part. It always has been, but I feel like that is kind of fading. Like, people realize now, like, this is more of a like I don't know. This is more of a move on their part to set themselves apart from the rest. Like, as you
like
said,
did they mention on any industry that would take advantage of it? Like if it's just a home consumer good.
yeah.
Like 3,000 is kind of steep for
And
something that
and
you could just use for 2 hours.
well, and
Like
like when you guys think about VR, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
VR.
virtual
Gaming, right?
Yeah.
Gaming. Like,
like who
what
games
are you
for
gonna do
two
in VR?
hours?
Gaming. How many games do you think this is gonna have when it comes out?
As many as in the in
That's
the
why
App
I
Store.
mentioned that's
Like
why
a
I
hundred
mentioned the
plus, like
architecture for
100 plus, and they're all like no name games too. Like,
Right.
so
yeah, that's why I mentioned the architecture for it because every software that they're going to use, the toolkit that they'll be using for the games will be proprietary ones from Apple.
yeah.
Like they've had this issue before when they open their app store. Like they have limited games, and that's the reason why I think Android actually beat them to it when it
Yep.
comes to adoption early on. Just so happens that the Android market has become much more competitive because it's an open one.
It's taken a
That's why I
while.
think they're thinking more about the consumers. Like you said, there are Apple heads are out there that think this is the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
But pretty much, if you're just someone that's gonna be looking at using this for entertainment, let's say you use it to watch a movie, it's much cheaper to just go to the cinema.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, this also plays into Apple products being a status symbol.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like people use, you
Yep.
know, the brand new, I got the new iPhone 14,
Or
whatever,
the
Pro Max.
AirPods, right? Oh, you don't have the
Mm.
you don't have AirPods? Like, oh, you must be poor.
Yeah.
Like, what? Like,
Yeah.
I've
So, you
I've
know,
gotten
and yeah, and the $60 music cord, you know, it's just when people see it, it's like, oh, you have this? And it's like, yeah, I'm successful. You know what I'm saying? Like one of those type things.
Yep.
So I don't think, I'm sure $3,500 for each one they sell, they can probably build, I don't know, 10 or 15. If at least, you know what I mean? So they sell
Yeah.
one, then they've, you know, 10 or 15 are paid for. So they don't really care.
Yeah, but we
I
still
think.
have to we still have to consider the R&D costs for this because that's not going to be just taken
Well,
back by just one sale.
also just the market in general, right? VR
Yes, the
market.
marketing is going to be a big one.
I feel like the VR market is definitely diminished. I mean, the PSVR 2 didn't sell that well. Meta Quest is releasing the Meta is releasing the Meta Quest 3 soon, and they're shopping the price of their 2 to like 300 or something like dollars. So clearly like interest in the VR realm isn't even really there. I mean, look at the metaverse stuff last year and how like people thought it was a cool idea, but it's not like people were jumping ship automatically. Um I just don't think that VR is even there yet for people to. That's why I think their position with AR,
If
they're trying to make it look like a multi-function tool where you can like, use it with a MacBook Air or whatever and like pull your content out and like do it like literally in front of you. I think that
Yeah.
stuff is really cool. I think the multi-function stuff, but for $3,500, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
use my laptop. You know what I mean? Like
I think my favorite feature is the FaceTime with the spatial sound.
it's pretty cool. Yeah,
It's
it's
pretty cool. Like they're life size. When they talk, it comes from here. When this one, it comes from.
You take like a picture of yourself, like when you buy it, you
you
get like
would
a
you like to
picture.
experience that with your mother-in-law?
No,
It'd be a little
No.
weird. How often you guys FaceTime or video
Not that.
chat?
you know what? Not that often.
Yeah.
No.
This
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah.
But this is the first iteration, right? I'm looking
Yep.
forward to like the Vision Pro 10 when it's like a contact lens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'll be there.
One day. I think we already even
we're-
have stuff like that. We already have concepts like that. I don't know if they're good, but
Right.
there are a few companies that are doing stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so this, I mean, we can shit on it all day, but it's a big innovation, I think, for it to
Yep.
be like, for it to be actually a physical thing that has a price that you can purchase if you want it versus one of these, like you said, like a concept, like, oh, Apple's working on this thing and hopefully they're going to build this thing where you just wear it and you can use like your finger and it tracks your eyes.
Yep.
It's real now. It's here and you can buy it.
And we're talking about it, right? Like it's a conversation piece. And sure, like, for the vast majority of people, they're not going to buy it, but it's still like revolutionary in that it's like having us talk, like having people discuss it, having people look at this and go, wow, like that's a lot of money. I kind of am curious, like why?
Yeah. Yeah, they
Yeah,
say
that's
just
why.
like we did, it's a lot of money, but if I had it, I would buy it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's why I mentioned that
Yep.
Apple throughout the years have made changes that actually changed our life. I'm actually just wondering, not to dump on this, but I'm actually much more curious on what industry this would actually affect, on how it could affect us in the future, because this thing could be improved on. It might just be an entertainment thing right now, but I'm more inclined to think down the line on whether industry could actually make use of it. Right now, it only has a battery life of what, 2 hours?
Yeah.
So it would just be limited for that. But what if they could increase the battery life? Let's
Oh,
say
they will.
Well, my thing is like, like you have the extended battery pack. Why don't you just get multiple, I'm assuming they're going to sell that separately, eventually, maybe not now, but eventually they'll sell that battery pack separately so you can have longer, viewing options. But yeah,
I mean, even
as far
now,
as I
right?
know, it's only, you can't buy it separately yet. So maybe you can, I don't know.
But even now, right? They're talking about like I don't remember what it's called, but it's basically like a proximity charger, right? You just have to be near it and your shit will charge.
Yeah.
Right. I think there's problems with like
The MagSafe.
you know, how does it affect the human body and all those things. But
And they
I mean,
have Can't
that
they have
costs
used
more.
that proximity charger for their studio display?
I mean, they want to put it. They want to put it like I've heard that they want to put it in airports and you know, like train stations and stuff. You know, where just being in the building,
Yeah.
your devices will charge.
I could see that.
So I mean, just
That's
see
the
that.
MagSafe one, right? They're
Yeah,
using
MagSafe.
MagSafe charging.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's also good for people like a friend of mine, her what you call it, like this part, right? Doesn't work anymore. So she
Oh.
uses the MagSafe, like that's all she uses. So it comes in handy for those people who may mess up the charging port.
Yeah, this is what, like I said, you know, I'm Samsung, but this is my charger. This is all I use.
Yeah. And you can bring that anywhere.
Yeah. And it just, you know, my phone just sits right there and it charges. There's no unplugging. I mean, obviously I plug this in to, you know,
Yeah.
the wall or whatever. But it's so much nicer. It's just I feel like it was such an improvement in my life. Like I was like, oh shit, I just boom, and it's, you know.
So yeah, so you could see like the Vision Pro, they could have something like that where you just boom, like that. You don't even need to put it in your pocket or anything. You just
Right.
boom and you know take it off and then put the next one on like that. Yeah, I can see that happening.
And as far as like the market that this goes into, like right, like the exciting thing about the time we live in now is the amount of disruption that we get to witness. Right, like shit is just changing. And I think for this, like, I mean, just this could basically for those of us that work from home, you know, and how that we've seen that enormous shift during the pandemic or whatever, where people's like, I don't fuck the office, I'm not going back. I mean, this is basically, you know, presentations, meetings, you know, you're kind of at the office.
Yeah.
Versus sitting here like this staring at a laptop. You know, it puts you in more of a the AR environment. And you know, if your entire team's on these things, whether they're supplied by the company or whatever, you know, everybody buys them or whatever the case may be, it will definitely create that in-person feeling, even though you're still on your sofa.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that's again, that's the way we're moving. And this initial iteration, albeit incredibly expensive and bulky maybe, and maybe not incredibly practical now, future application is I like it, man. I like it a lot.
One thing I will say is the last thing I'll say really about the Vision Pro is in 2016 Pokemon Go came out and changed the world. Changed literally, like everyone was playing this game. And I think that with AR we can definitely see some incredible innovation when it comes to gaming and just, you know, multitask, like whatever it be. Them making sure that you can still see through the glass, even though it's not really how it works. You're looking through a screen and you're seeing it. The technology is kind of wild. You're not really looking through the glass. It's mind-boggling. But having that AR capability definitely makes this thing very, very interesting and future-proof. I think AR is like the way to go for sure when it comes to this.
Well, I mean,
one thing go ahead.
I was going to say, you see a lot of AR nowadays in things like IKEA does the AR thing.
Yep. Amazon has stuff you can check, like if the furniture fits.
IKEA does an AR, like you get to be pissed virtually.
Yeah, you get lost. Yeah, you get lost in your own house. Yeah. The only thing, there's AR meatballs, which kind of sucks because it's just AR, but they're there.
Well, I know corporate Christian would love this. And speaking of corporate, here's a word from our sponsors. No, we don't have any. Like, if there anyone out there wants to sponsor us, like we're here, we're welcoming it. So please do. Well, with that being said, Ryan, what's our next topic for today?
I got you. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg reveals plans to incorporate generative AI into every product. I mean, that's kind of the wave nowadays, so it makes sense, right?
Hmm.
Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg reassured his employees about the company's strategy and efforts regarding artificial intelligence. This comes after the company conducted its latest round of job cuts 2 weeks ago. Chris, is Meta grasping at straws, trying to pivot away from metaverse concepts for what's more popular in the current zeitgeist? Or is it just throwing darts at the board at this point?
Yeah, I think I mean obviously Zuckerberg is he's got a pretty big heart on for the metaverse, right? Like he really wants this. I listened to him on Rogan, I think like a year ago, and he made a few interesting points about physical reality and virtual reality and how those things will be blended, so he's very excited about the metaverse. I just think they've hit some obstacles. Maybe people aren't as excited as they are, like Zuckerberg's like, oh, this is fantastic, and everybody else is like, yeah, it's all right. But now everybody's like, oh, this generative AI is fantastic, and Zuckerberg's like, it's no metaverse, but okay, let's go ahead. I feel like that's kind of like, why wouldn't you, as a businessman, as a tech mogul?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. This comes at an interesting time.
Yeah. I mean, you got to ride the wave,
I'm
right?
curious to see like where is this AI coming? Where I guess he's gonna get some bots on Facebook is the point, right?
Yeah. So, some AI fact checking, Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. I just opened our article regarding this, and I saw Mark Zuckerberg's
It's
face.
freaky.
Like
He's like a
he
clone.
looked
He
like
looks like a
someone
clone.
from the bar. Yeah, he looked like someone from the Barbie movie, only with less emotion.
Oh, he's a lizard person, so yeah.
Yeah, everyone seems to have a hard on in regards to AI, right? Over the past couple of weeks, we've been discussing multiple companies
Yep.
delving into
Everybody.
AI incorporation.
I told you
Yeah.
guys about the sneaker company, right? I forget the name of the company, but even them putting AI in shoes, which, sure, I guess
Why?
it's good for people that work out and stuff. Like, but yeah, AI doesn't need to be in everything.
Well, I don't think the question, Christian, is why. I think the question that they ask themselves is why not?
Yeah.
Like, why not? We can. Why not?
Yeah.
If no one needs it, who cares? But we can do it. Why not do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
because Meta has been so good when it comes to following through with their products, right? We've just mentioned their sale of Giphy before.
Yeah.
Like I'm
They had
thinking what
Yeah.
I'm also thinking of where they could actually apply this, their product. What product do they have right now?
Meta, like
Just
Meta
Meta.
or Facebook. I mean, Facebook. Like, I could see them maybe implementing in ways like Chris had mentioned earlier, fact checking stuff like that to ensure back end kind of stuff to ensure that misinformation doesn't boggle the timelines on people's content when they're perusing Facebook. But I mean, beyond that, like maybe to help their what is it Meta, what is the vision, what's I can't think of the name of the Horizons, maybe to give Horizons some life because no one's really using it.
Yeah, this would be used for creating videos, audio, and such. Is there such someone offering the same service using AI?
Probably, yeah, for sure.
Well, I mean, that's Zuckerberg's MO though, right? He takes what's already being done and either copies it or bullies them into surrendering their company.
And he always wants to be on top of it, right? He wants to be in
Zuckerberg
control.
finally gonna use this to turn himself into a real boy.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's upgrading. Maybe he's just upgrading himself. This is like Zuckerberg 5.0 or some shit.
He's just upgrading the system.
What he mean says, you know, he wants to put it into every product. Like he sees there's an avenue for success potentially. But my question is, what AI are they going to make? Are they going to design their own AI? Are they going to work with OpenAI, ChatGPT? What AI? That's my question.
Is this more target to the content creator?
Probably, yeah.
Like they could oh, this is gonna be a pain.
And it's also too, you know, how trying to think of a best way to word this is how important is AI to him? Like my thing is he just saying this to say it? Is he just saying this to, you know, tell people, hey, we're looking at AI, you know, trust me, we're looking at AI, when in reality it's not that important to them, you know?
What, kind of like a me too type
Saving
thing?
face. Yeah, exactly. Like
He's pretty
we're
much
in this,
fallen
we're
out
in
of the
this too. Don't
zeitgeist.
worry. Yeah.
Like he's pretty much
Every
fallen
tech
out of the
company has to
zeitgeist
pick
over
it
the
up
past couple
somewhat.
of years.
What's that?
He's pretty much fallen off the zeitgeist in the past couple of years now. I think
Oh, do you
all
guys
we've been
use
talking about
Facebook that much?
is him. Not that much right now.
I
Yeah.
mean, I keep up.
If they incorporate this, I think a couple might try it out. I just don't know which platform they're gonna be using it. If it's generative, it means creation of content.
Yeah.
Like this is a whole mixed bag of things that's gonna be a problem for a lot of people. Since right now, even with just Chat GPT, we're having a hard time discerning which is which.
I'll tell you right now, I think
Yeah.
Facebook it's kind of, and I'm saying this because I have a student, right? As I think I've said on here before, I teach English, and I have a student, he's, I don't know what he is, 13, maybe 12, 13 or 14 years old, I think. And he expressed to me that in Japan, Facebook is for old people.
Ooh,
Like, yeah, like nobody his age, no one in his age group is doing anything with Facebook.
how
Like, I
old
mean,
is
Yet,
old for them?
and yet companies still leverage Facebook for, like, even us, we still market our articles on Facebook. We still put videos on Facebook. Several other companies, you know, still leverage Facebook for marketing purposes. But so I don't know. Yeah. It is.
but I mean,
It's interesting how important it still has remained, despite the fact that no one really, at least as you said, like at least in my age group, and even you guys don't use it as much. Like my parents are the people using Facebook.
yeah, I keep up with family. That's what I do. I
Yeah.
keep up with family on there, like Facebook for family, Instagram for entertainment, and Twitter if I want to be pissed off. Like that's basically what it is.
How old is old in Japan? Like, what demographic are we talking about? Like, every country has a
60
different
and up,
definition
probably.
of old.
30s, I think.
In their 30s?
Well, I mean, you have to
Yeah.
think this kid's 13 years old, so like a 20-year-old
Oh,
person is old to this kid. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
So
But I mean,
in the
it's
middle.
indicative of, I think, not only Japan. I'm sure this isn't only a thing in Japan. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, what has
It's crazy to
Facebook
me
done?
that even like Japan still even has like people even use Facebook in Japan. That's I don't know
Yeah.
why. It just boggles my mind a little bit that people
Well,
even use.
most of them use. I think most of them use Line.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
like got to be
Line.
another. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes more sense to me. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
There's-
how has Facebook improved itself? And I remember the timeline change. Okay, they added Reels.
I was gonna say real.
But
I was gonna say Reels. I was gonna say Reels was like the real big development, but even that was they were stealing that from Snapchat or TikTok, right? Like that wasn't even their own idea.
yeah,
Yeah, and that was greatly overtaken by TikTok, not just in the
And
Western
it
front, but
works.
across the
It works
world.
better.
It works
Um,
better.
it works better on Instagram. Like
Instagram too. Yeah,
no, well,
YouTube.
it just like Reels, like they work better, or they just like function better on Instagram. At least in my opinion. Maybe I'm
Me
wrong
too.
in
Yeah,
that.
I
But
agree.
yeah.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they haven't done much in the face of. I mean, we talk about how technology is like zooming for like a million miles an hour.
Well,
You know, every day there's something new. Facebook's just kind of they're just
it's
kind of
been full
cruising,
steam
man.
ahead with this digital metaverse, like putting everything, all of our assets into this digital realm. When that's just like, I don't know, it's just like not the way to go about this, right? Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even with I remember when NFTs were blowing up, they, made a big thing about being able to show off your NFTs on your Instagram page, being able to use them as profile pictures, all this stuff. Who cares? Who needs that? Like, I guess like the big crypto bros and NFT people, like, sure, that would make them happy. But how does that help like just everyday users? Not much. I mean,
Right. Yeah.
I
There's
mean,
not. Yeah.
You guys think Zuckerberg has been gun shy over the past couple of years because of what happened in Congress regarding privacy and data mining?
yes. Yeah. I
He
mean,
kind of like.
I would be,
Yeah.
but
Hell yeah.
I mean, then again, I don't know. These people usually just don't care what people think about them. So who knows? But I mean, I'd be sweating a little bit, tiptoeing around that kind of regulation. For
Yeah,
sure.
because right now with him delving into AI, he's actually throwing his hat in the ring with all the people that's going to be in front of Congress regarding this.
Yep.
Like everyone's going to be lining up to
And
go in
there's
I
front of
mean,
still
Congress to
and it's not like
discuss the
there's
use
still
of
issues
AI.
with data and privacy. Like it's not like
Yeah, it
that's,
still has.
yeah.
well, to your question a minute ago, Ryan, are they going to like plug in OpenAI or are they going to create their own?
Yeah.
I think to what Christian just said, how everybody's going to be dragged in front of Congress, then I would imagine he's just going to plug in somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Easier to do that. That's what
Yeah.
most people just use Chat GPT or GPT-3. Anyway, right? They kind of just integrate that and and then it's like their problem essentially, when it comes to regulation and stuff like that. I don't know, we'll see. I mean, I don't know, man. Especially when it comes to data and privacy, having AI in the equation just freaks me out a little bit. And I'm sure, if something goes wrong, Facebook or Meta, whatever, will be like the poster child for like what not to do.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking that Zuckerberg might try a wait and see attitude for this one. Like
Yeah,
see what the other players are going to be enduring
that's
over the
that's what I
course of
think,
this
man.
AI thing.
I
And
really think this is just
whatever.
showing face. It's
Yeah.
just like we're interested in AI, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Like, we're not really gonna put that much money into it.
Right.
We'll integrate stuff, but yeah, AI, cool, right, guys? Like, like it's kind of what it
Yeah.
feels like.
But also I think obviously we're in the journalism field, right? We're reporters and writers and all that stuff. How much has this been maybe because to your point, Ryan, like he's like, oh yeah, sure, whatever. How much has this maybe been blown out of proportion? He's like, yeah, somebody was probably like, so what's your thoughts about AI? And he's like, yeah, we'll probably do it. And it's like, oh, Zuckerberg says Meta is going to invest in generative AI. When really he was just like, yeah, probably. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly,
Because I don't
exactly.
I don't see, like you said in the beginning, he's got the metaverse and he's got all this stuff he's doing. It's kind of it's like a side quest almost,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. It's not
Like,
the big
yeah.
picture. It's not.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
yeah. It doesn't progress the game any. He's just gonna not okay, yeah, I can do this. I'm kind
Yep.
of bored with meta. I'll do this for a second, then I'll continue the real mission.
Yep.
Yeah, well, what interests me the most here is what our audience actually thinks about this. Will this AI thing for Facebook actually be pushed through and integrated with Meta? And will Zuckerberg be ever a real boy? So please comment down below. And Ryan, moving on to our next topic for the day.
Yeah. Live streaming, huh? Twitch issues public apology after receiving backlash over branded content changes. Twitch revoked its new branded content guidelines a day after setting them up, following a backlash from creators. The new guidelines were supposed to take effect on July 1st. Christian, Is Twitch now a dying platform in the face of alternatives like YouTube, Kick, even Rumble?
I don't think so. Like they just keep making bad calls one after the next. Like everyone was thinking that this was a bad call because based off on what's being said by content creators, it's likely Twitch might want to do these kinds of things themselves. That's why they're taking out the
Yeah.
authority for the content creators. That's the major goal of them. Like if we're gonna consider YouTube, their main reason why content creators, like for example, someone pretty popular like Ryan Higa actually shifted over to the Twitch platform is it's because the way the algorithm works for YouTube.
Interesting.
Like that Twitch doesn't even I don't think Twitch has that problem. Like content creators would still stick with it since they've actually garnered a big following there. And I feel it's more of a community there rather than on YouTube. It depends on what the
Yeah.
content creator actually is much more comfortable with. That's why I don't think it's gonna die out because they don't have an algorithm they need to compete with. It's just on them and their audience.
Yeah. And, they're executives. I feel like a lot of this comes down from Amazon and, the fact that,
Yeah, because this announcement was actually a surprise to everyone.
yeah,
Like all of a sudden, a certain feature is gonna be plucked out, and they're all Twitch is already getting what 50% of the revenue from
yeah,
the streams.
yeah.
Like this is one avenue, like
And they,
advertisers that they could easily just implement once they got it out of every streamer system. It's a bit sus, in my opinion, on why
they've
they actually
already,
did
uh,
it.
they've already changed guidelines with how they pay out creators. So the 70-30 split doesn't even happen anymore, where creators get 70%. As you said, now it's 50-50 for everybody. So clearly they're doing all that they can to ensure that they're not insolvent. they I feel like Amazon is really pressuring Twitch to make more money or make to find ways to make more money so they could keep going, keep doing what they do. It's a I don't know, it's like it's such a like, Twitch always shoots itself in the foot and it always makes itself look so bad and so automatically people, and it's not like people aren't jumping ship. You have Kick making kind of big waves, on the all in the wrong ways. Kick is kind of known to be this it's where you go when you want to be bad, essentially. It has content guidelines, but most of the time people let it slide. And it's owned by Stake, which incidentally was kicked off of Twitch. So if you're trying to stream gambling on Stake, you can't on Twitch. So Stake went and made their own platform, and it's making waves. I will say it's making waves. People are making money too on Kick. Is it a Twitch killer? Probably not. Probably not. I'm in the same boat with you, Christian, in that people have already built years and years. I mean, look at Soda Pop and look at Asmongold. These people have been on the platform for so long, and they've built up this huge community. Um, I don't see,
Did the
unless
issues
these type of
actually
people leave, that's when Twitch dies.
Yeah, did the issues actually just occur when Amazon actually bought the platform? Like just
Yeah,
when Amazon actually took over, the changes actually suddenly have people up?
yeah,
I think problems like this arise when decision makers are removed from the product, right? Like executives, I feel like this is a move. This was something that was obviously uh advised or suggested by corporate lawyers.
for sure.
You know what I mean? And these people aren't streaming on Twitch. They aren't watching. They probably don't even have Twitch on their phone. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not,
Yeah.
they don't really get it. And then they're like, oh, but from a business standpoint, this is smart, right? Like you want to make sure that you continue your revenue or increase your revenue, build a company. Like that's your job as an executive, is to increase revenue every year over year over year.
Yeah. Corporate Christian would agree.
Yeah. He left. So
Yeah.
If you see him, maybe you can tell him. But yeah, like from a business standpoint, from like a business lawyer or an executive, this makes sense. But if you're in the community and you understand what your product, what Twitch is, what it does, what it means to people, you would have never made this step in the first place.
Well, what was it 3 or 4 months ago? Emmett Shear, the CEO, stepped down, and Dan Clancy took the reins, as it were. So clearly, there's a lot going on, like leadership wise, and how best to right this ship, because Twitch needs some, no offense to Dan Clancy, I think he's done a good job so far. He's been on a ton of podcasts and stuff talking about how best to steer the platform. But like the guidelines came out of nowhere, like, and the way that they worded them, the way that they phrased them was even incorrect. So one of the guidelines was to you can't have like advertisements, like moving advertisements, take up more than 3% of the stream. And even in their in their example, it was over 3% of the screen. So like even they didn't. So like, the fact that like, and who at Twitch, they don't have the resources for people to be looking at every stream to see who's, banner overlay is going to be over 3%. Like, that's just not going to happen.
Right.
A lot of these things, a lot of these guidelines were just like kind of them putting the foot down and saying, listen, like Christian said earlier, these are things that we need to start making more money for ourselves and taking the money from the content or the creators. Not saying that outright, but essentially saying that, under the table. Because a lot of
question
these,
is,
what's that?
yeah, big question is, if the streamers are gonna leave Twitch, where will they go?
Well, YouTube, Rumble, Kick. I mean, there's a ton of new Facebook even. I mean, there's places where they can go. Will the community, will their viewers follow them is the biggest question. And will they make the same amount of money? I mean, Kick pays out way more than Twitch does. People that
I think they will
have
just
left Twitch to go to Kick because they have a higher split. I think it's 90. I think it's 90-10 or something like that. Or 80-10, 80-20, something like that. Some crazy split number. Like, the creators on Kick are making boatloads more than they do on Twitch. And that's just because of how it's, how it's run.
or until the owners actually notice they could get more.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's just party for now.
To
The,
your
the
point
thing is
earlier,
with
discoverability
Twitch,
is like, key in that, in the streaming realm. Discoverability is key, and a lot of these places, maybe even besides YouTube, don't really have that discoverability yet. I think one of the only ones that can like actually have a really, even TikTok, people start. Ninja has been streaming on multiple platforms, including TikTok, and he said himself the other day that he doesn't make much on Twitch anymore. So like, even for creators like well known, it's not like it's a great spot for them to keep their business going. So especially with those guidelines.
do you really think Twitch people will return to YouTube, even if they have that kind of algorithm?
It depends. It
Like
depends.
YouTube is
I mean,
pretty
look at
ranking in
Ludwig.
shorts.
Ludwig got a pretty good deal. A lot of people, Foosley, a lot of these Twitch people moved to YouTube recently, but I mean, again, they were paid to do so. So I can see people jumping ship if that is, if now, again, like the hardcore, like Asmongold, Soda Pop, and these type of people, I don't see them jumping Twitch anytime soon or leaving Twitch unless Twitch really, like, does some crazy shit. But I do see other people moving to Kick and stuff just because they can make more money there. It's crazy.
What's the
I mean, yeah,
contract like in Kick?
All I know is that the split number is way higher than Twitch.
Mm.
So you're making a lot more. And they're taking less. I believe Kick takes 10%. 10 or 20%, something like that.
We're gonna have the time when that will change, right?
It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah.
Chris, you were saying?
Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna say, like, I don't know how much loyalty plays into these guys. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if you're on Twitch and they start acting crazy, then you can just leave. You know what I'm saying? There's other options like Ryan was talking about, YouTube or Kick or something
And
like.
Rumble, people are moving to Rumble too, even though, like, I know it's kind of a joke site. Rumble is more tailored
Yeah.
to right wing or right wing creators and stuff. It's kind of like a true social almost. But I mean, people are making content there. It's it's not like it's not like it's dead. There is an
Right.
audience for it.
Yeah, Rumble's more on Yelp, more on free speech. I know that for sure. I don't really like the UI UX aspect of Rumble that much. I don't like the green. The green is not
Yeah, it's
good.
hard on the eyes.
Yeah, it's just the I don't know. I don't know, but also, like you get accustomed, like muscle memory type shit. You know what I mean? Like I'm very accustomed to YouTube.
Yeah.
Like I know what it looks like. I know, where everything is. Uh I go to Rumble and it's like I'm lost in a new city, or it's like I don't know where anything is. And I very, very quickly after this feeling of being lost, I go back to where I'm familiar.
Yeah.
Even though I know, YouTube
Well,
is, whatever it is, but
do you guys watch Twitch that often,
I do not.
Christian?
Just a few times, I guess, at least twice a week, and just check out
I
some gaming.
I rarely ever go to Twitch, to be honest with you. I'm not a big Twitch viewer, but I do like consuming the Twitch content on YouTube. That makes sense.
Yes. Yes.
And that's the thing. Like, YouTube is king with that because all Twitch has to offer is VODs or live streams.
Mhm.
Whereas YouTube has almost everything you can ask for. You want the TikTok stuff, they got shorts, You want the longer form content like podcasts, they have that. You go
Yeah.
to YouTube and you have pretty much everything and live streams. So
And you can
for
buy
me, it's
movies
like
on
YouTube is more so king in that realm over
Yeah.
Twitch right now.
They're
But
kind of, I mean, I'd go as far as to say, and they do, like I said, they
oh, oh,
have like a Netflix feel.
oh, we just lost you. We just lost you. Say all that again.
I said, yeah, well, I said, they're kind of like, Elon Musk talks about the everything app, right? But when it comes to video content, YouTube is kind of already there.
Yeah,
Like you can do the streaming, you can do, the only thing I wish YouTube would do is live sports, like
well,
TV. I wish.
they kind of have that if you have YouTube TV, right? I think.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't think it's not available everywhere,
Yeah.
and it's just another subscription.
Yeah. See,
Like
I
I don't
have
even.
YouTube TV, but it's so expensive. And for me,
It's
it's like I'm not really
crazy,
watching television, broadcast television all that much.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was saying though before, I got disconnected or whatever. But yeah, they pretty much have all of that: the movies, the streaming. They got the music, they got the original content,
Yep.
the creator uploaded content, content from other platforms.
Yep.
Like Netflix advertises on YouTube. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like
Yep.
YouTube's not advertising on Netflix.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to muscle in on something that is so well put together. You can bitch about the algorithm and the censorship and all that stuff, but it's a very well put together platform.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm of the mind that YouTube is a better spot to go to than Twitch just because of what you get in return.
Hmm.
It's Twitch.
Yeah, it beats the other platform by age. It's a much older one, and I think a much more established and trusted one. Trust being in open and close parentheses, but it has longevity. What you would want for an advertising is actually a platform that's built to last, and I don't think YouTube is going anywhere anytime soon.
Well,
Right.
and to that point, from what Devin Nash said, Devin Nash is a big he was a streamer, and he also has his own talent agency, I believe. But from his information, a lot of the advertisements or advertisers are leaving Twitch because of just like the ongoing kind of hate parade there is of just live streaming in general. Like, it's just not a great platform. Twitch is not a great platform to advertise because of the user base, which is predominantly younger audiences. So you already are capped off. You're not going to be advertising, I don't know, books or financial advice stuff, right? Like, there's very specific advertisements on Twitch, like gaming and stuff. And even those kind of people are pulling out because there's just not like the experience is already pretty bad, So it's interesting. It's like, I don't think Twitch is gonna, unless I don't know, unless they find a way to pull things around. I don't think Twitch is gonna last another 5 years. I really don't.
Well, it seems like
Yeah,
they
really.
shoot
If we have
themselves in the
any,
foot.
go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, it seems like they're shooting themselves in the foot. Like they had a good thing going. Like don't just let it go. Like if you're not
And they had a big rise during the COVID pandemic, but it's over now. And like, you can't keep pressing those numbers. Like, sure, those are great numbers, 2020, 2021. No one's staying inside watching streams anymore. It's not really
Right.
happening.
Well, if any of our audiences are Twitch streamers and Twitch audiences staying inside, do you think the apology that's been given by Twitch is actually POG, or is it just copium that they're gonna just accept it? Please leave it down in the comments below. Ryan, and our very last topic for the day is
Elon Musk again, man. Elon Musk. So, Tesla Cybertruck woes. Leaked report reveals engineering issues. Tesla's highly anticipated Cybertruck faces grave design problems, according to a leaked report recently published. In May, German publication Hanselblatt obtained the Tesla files, a whistleblower's internal papers that revealed Tesla Cybertruck's issues. One of these papers was an engineering study from January 25th, 2022, which exposed serious problems with the alpha prototype Cybertruck, according to Wired, which evaluated the leaked report. It's funny, there was actually something in the news recently too of a guy, his Tesla wheel was like broken. There's been a big recall, so clearly this is not just a Cybertruck thing. But Chris, is Tesla's innovation and market share now losing traction with Elon Musk's attention situated on Twitter and other duties?
it would seem so. It
Right.
would seem so. But I mean, I'm gonna always. I feel like at this day and age, or in this day and age, in this day, at whatever it is, I can't remember the saying, but I feel like Elon was held in such high regard when he was revolutionizing the EV, when he was trying to save humanity in the future, right? He says we have to be interplanetary if we want to survive as a species. You never really heard anything bad about Elon until he took over Twitter. And now it seems like every week, every couple days, couple times a week, there's a report that he's fucking up. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just, I feel like it's one of those things where he's went from like, what's the saying? Live long enough to become the villain, die a hero, or live long enough to become the villain, or something like that. I feel like that's kind of
you either die the hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain, right?
Yeah, something like I feel like that's kind of where he's at right now.
Yeah.
Like we're so saturated with Elon. I mean, even not just this podcast, but like Elon is fucking everywhere, man.
And he's been touted as this huge innovator, this big tech mogul to one of your terms. But it's just like, especially when it comes to Tesla, over the last couple of years, especially with their self-driving technology innovation, stuff like that, this doesn't seem like Tesla's going anywhere, similar to how we talked about with Apple. it's not really doing anything to really reshape how they look or reshape the brand in a way. Where Apple is coming in and saying, look at this cool new device. What's Tesla really been doing other than saying the Cybertruck's coming, the Cybertruck's coming, or self-driving, better self-driving applications are coming, where are they? Where is all this innovation? It's just kind of been, left in secrecy and still up in the air. And for most part, I mean, I feel like a lot of people are kind of jumping ship from Tesla. A lot of people don't really even want to buy it as much or buy into Teslas as much anymore. You see them everywhere. And, from what I've heard, one of my friends lives in California, and he was telling me he went on a road trip with one of his friends who has a Tesla, and they had to stop every, I don't know. I don't know the specific times, but at one point they had to stop and they had to wait for like an hour or two just to charge the Tesla. Like for me, it's like, man, I don't want to sit through an hour wait just to charge my Tesla. It just sounds like ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that's like, I don't know. Feel like it's becoming a norm in a sense. And, I don't know. When it comes to Tesla, it just kind of annoys me when there's not much innovation there. It's not much really changing at all.
You think they've hit it? You think they've hit a wall?
Yeah, I do. I think it comes a lot from the fact that Elon Musk isn't really there. He's not really there mentally, right? Maybe physically, maybe he's doing stuff there, but it's just not. Just doesn't feel like he's has his hand or much of a say in everyday Tesla stuff. Which I mean, I guess I don't know. Maybe some people will like that. Maybe some people prefer that, but I don't know.
Well, this
would have been fun
information
if it would have been fun if the leak was about when this thing will be released for retail.
So I mean, I remember when they announced it. Wasn't it announced in like 2018 or something? Like
it was announced.
It was announced years ago.
We're actually discussing a fictional car right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I remember. I think the first big black eye for the Cybertruck was when the window shattered.
Yeah. Yep.
Right, and it's like, oh shit, and then he said something like,
I remember that.
Yeah, they had over tested it beforehand.
Because wasn't it supposed to be bulletproof windows or something like that?
Yeah. But it shattered right there in front of God and everybody.
Yeah.
So Cybertruck is not. It's not a stranger to complication.
Especially when it comes to the Cybertruck, I feel like it's just kind of this pet project, a toy, as it were. That he wants to show like into the world, like look at what we can do, but it's not going really the way he intended. I feel like.
Well, I mean, the design.
Has anyone actually ridden the thing? Like, checked out the specs? If it actually makes sense? Like,
as far as I know, no.
No one, right?
I know recently it was seen driving in the desert and they had to stop and like fix it.
Like in terms of
a couple weeks ago.
Like once again, in terms of vaporware, I think this thing actually outlived Rivian.
Yeah.
So it's a leak, yes. It's bad when the leaks happen, but it's a leak for a fictional car.
And I think it's from
That's a good point.
It's some employee that's like, I'm sure. I mean, it has to be, right? As Chevrolet is innovating and Ford is innovating and Dodge or whoever it is, like there's problems. It's just they don't have a pissed off employee leaking the issues.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Even with all the information that they actually let go, I don't think we have a benchmark that can actually compare if these are problems or not, because no one has actually driven it.
Yeah. I mean, again, and it's just like we talked about a couple weeks ago with the rocket blowing up.
Everything is just CAD simulations.
But yeah, the Cybertruck is kind of in the same ballpark as like this incredibly large rocket that is a miracle it even got off the ground.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit if it exploded? You know what I mean? Like the way he's moving things. First off, nothing is going to go smoothly. You
That's
know
a good
what I
point.
mean? And because it's Elon Musk and because it's Tesla and it is an innovative company and a modern day, I don't know, Lex Luthor or Tony Stark, either way you want to go here. It's all this shit gets amplified.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do I care that Cybertruck's having problems? Not one bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
Same here.
Are you gonna buy that Cybertruck?
If I had extra, it's kind
Like,
of the same with the Vision Pro.
is
If
the
I had
Earth
some
still
extra,
gonna be here by the time it saves it?
I mean,
Like,
that may be.
it was supposed to be a revolutionary thing that would greatly diminish the use of petrol and fuel when it
Well,
comes to transport. Like, it still arrive while the Earth still exists? That's
well,
what
like
I
they,
want to know.
like
Probably
they
not.
say, the revolution, the revolution will not be televised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when it just happens, and I mean, based on design alone, it is very much to your point, Ryan. It's like a toy. I think it would do this. Yeah,
Yeah.
even the design, it looks like something that I had as a kid, maybe like GI Joe something.
Yeah.
That was supposed
Yeah.
to look futuristic. It looks like it's supposed to look futuristic.
Yeah,
It looks like something a kid draw at using Lotus 1, 2, 3
I don't
back
understand
in
why
the 90s.
everyone's so hyped about it. Like, why is everyone so excited about it when it doesn't even look that cool? Like, especially now. It's been years since it was announced.
Yeah, because we have a proof of concept for it. Like, it is
Yeah.
possible. We have the cars. We just need a much bigger form factor for it. Problem is the output. I think that's the issue they're having because it has to be used like a truck, not like a
And
car.
production
Otherwise,
costs. I
it
can't
won't.
imagine
The
production
production
costs are
costs.
good.
Oh yeah, and I mean the name, right? Cybertruck. It makes me think of
Anything from Tron, I think.
yeah,
would
Tron.
be my
Exactly. It
guess.
does. It makes you. It's like Cybertruck. It can't be a Cybertruck if it's tangible, right?
Yeah. That's a good point.
Doesn't even
Like,
look like a truck.
like cyber
No, it
stuff
doesn't.
is in the. No, it doesn't. It looks
It
like
looks like a car, like on stilts, on like elevated stilts almost. You know what I mean? Like you slapped like off-road tires on a car and giant off-road tires on a car and called it a day.
Yeah, it looks like like a 4-wheel drive DeLorean.
Yeah.
It's but I mean it's interesting. It's again like I think the Vision Pro, innovative, new, one of a kind. It's one of those exciting things, and I don't want to shit on people being innovative. It's just
It's
is it
new.
is it necessary? I think
No.
necessity at this point is it's beside the point. Like that's not the point. Do we need it? Probably not. Do I need half of the shit in my house? Probably not. But it's nice to have it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone is talking about electronic vehicles. No one is talking about electronic private jets. If there's one thing that I want,
One day.
it can't be afforded by the ones that actually use it.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about autonomy, the Tesla autonomous rigs, right? Have you seen these? Like the nationwide delivery, like the tractor trailers, the tractor part. Oh,
I
yeah,
think
bro.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yes, like semi trucks.
Like those have a practical use. Yeah, like semi trucks. That's the word I was looking for.
Yep.
Very practical use. Autonomous, because I know truck drivers. I come from a family of truck drivers, and coming from my MOS in the military, which was also a truck driver. I have a lot of old battles that are truck drivers now. If you have the time and the endurance and the motivation, you can make a lot of money driving trucks cross country.
Yeah.
So this is kind of shitting on a lot of people. The autonomous,
Yeah. Are they using it now? Like I just saw a picture of it. Like
yeah,
it's
they're
built
doing.
like a tank.
I think they did some road tests or something.
How much load can this take?
Oh, the same as a regular truck, I think. I don't think the load bearing is any smaller than what is average now. Because I mean, there's way stations all across the U.S. Like it can't go,
Yeah.
But I think it can handle, a Walmart trailer full of I don't know, fake plants and fucking t-shirts and shit. I don't know what's in there. Well, Walmart's got everything. God knows it could be anything in there. Some illegals. I don't know how many illegals fit in one of those trailers.
Will make smuggling much more convenient, right?
Yeah. Man, who do you arrest? Like, Jesus Christ. It's like Transformers. You can't take Optimus Prime into,
Well, drunk truck drivers would appreciate this.
But yeah, I mean, I considered when I left the military a career in truck driving just because, like I said, if you can put in the miles consistently, I mean, you can make a lot of money.
That's
Enough to buy
I
your
think
own truck and all
we
that
take
stuff,
for
yeah.
granted that, right? Just look at AI, look at what it's doing, right? To a lot of even just writers and in general. We take for granted that innovation, like pushing bounds, can sometimes even ruin lives in that sense.
Yeah.
And I don't think, I mean, personally, I don't think autonomous trucks will be a thing at anytime soon either. Like it's just my thing is like there's still going to be a driver in the seat because the human interaction,
element.
I don't know the word, but yeah, like you need a human there. Like you just can't have a truck just driving on its own. It's just like be too detrimental to the roads.
Like I had over on the exclusives, I think about a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, maybe I had a conversation with a gentleman that his company they go around and they basically eliminate the digital gap. Like you have like dead areas. You and I are both from rural areas, so
Yeah.
you know what it's like to go.
Was
Especially
that
in, like,
the one
forests.
with GWS?
Was it
Like
G? Yeah,
Global
I think so.
Wireless?
Yeah,
GWS, right?
yeah.
Well, we'll
So he
just leave
was,
a link to that interview.
yeah, he was saying that, like, okay, so as the G's increase, right? 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G, whatever. As those increase, like, I'm probably not going to remember this correctly, but you will get the gist. Like 4G brought in, like, made Uber and all these things possible with the mapping and the deliveries. 5G has brought in the possibility of autonomy, right? To where on the maps, right, you drop a pin on maps, it's close within 30, 40, 50 yards, right? Like you're close. But in order to get autonomous cars where you need to be precise within inches to not hit another car or another person, then the G's have to be much higher.
Yeah.
Right. So autonomy is coming, just it's waiting on the network.
Yeah. Yeah, our infrastructure with that is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think it's because too many companies have too much of a hold on it. Like Verizon is really good, but yeah, at the same time, it's like it's not. There are areas where it's not going to work.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the funny thing for me, going back to the report from Handelsblatt, is that the leak is concerned regarding internal dynamics for noise, vibration, harshness. Are they planning to make the ride comfortable in a truck?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised.
I would want to.
Right? Like,
Wouldn't everything regarding it be moot if it was actually autonomous and no one was driving it?
Well, I think the autonomy, like for me, I used to travel, like I drove from Fort Carson to Harlan, Kentucky, back and forth, maybe, I don't know, 5. Well, it was an odd number because I flew in once. So, like, yeah, 5 or 7 times maybe or something like that. And I would have loved to have an autonomous vehicle between the interstate in Colorado going all the way to Louisville, Kentucky. You know what I mean? That's like 17 hours or something of just cornfields and like that's it. autonomous on that, it's just straight going. I mean, it's not difficult at all.
Yeah, if the
but it's
cars right
quicker.
now can actually provide comfort, like it not even EVs can actually do it, like common pickups. Like how much would they like to reduce the rest of the discomforts coming from a pickup truck? We're not talking about a semi here. We're talking about a retail value that can fit in your garage truck.
I mean, just not having to focus on the highway is like, kick the seat back and whatever, watch your phone or take a nap or
Put on Apple's VR glasses.
yeah.
Relax.
I mean, all right. So imagine the Cybertruck is fully autonomous, and then it has the Apple Vision possibilities in the windshield.
I could see
Yeah,
that.
you are. It's
BMW has a car that does something like that.
Right.
the
Yeah. I
concept.
mean,
I don't know if it's
yeah.
autonomous, but yeah.
But yeah, the AR, like I seen that. I think what's her name? Supercar Blondie. I watch her a lot. I seen one where I think a lot of the dials and stuff are actually kind of floating in the windshield. Not dials. What the hell?
No, you got it. Yeah, you could. Yeah,
Are they dials?
they're not necessarily dials, but I know what you mean. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Meters.
Yeah, all that shit. Yeah. Speedometers,
yeah.
thermometers, odometers, all those. Yeah. But yeah,
Tachometers.
they're kind of cast into the windshield. Like it's not even, you don't have to, I guess because it's a supercar, so like eye movement needs to be limited. Like you don't want to be looking down if you're going like 200
Yeah.
miles an hour. But it's all
That's
kind
the
of like,
driving itself.
It's all on the windshield, right? Everything is on
yeah,
the windshield.
it's kind of
Driving.
cast into the windshield, almost like an AR type thing.
It's like you're
Yeah.
gonna be playing a game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like with,
Mm.
I mean, we do kind of dump on these things as being excessive, maybe. But
Yeah.
I mean, if like I said, if you mix these things, could you imagine streaming on Twitch in your Cybertruck through the windshield? You know what I mean? Like as the
One
truck,
day.
as the truck drives to it. Yeah.
I could see
What
someone
was-
doing that for sure. Yeah.
What was the other
As-
topic? Oh yeah. While scrolling Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like all this shit could be at the same time. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
where we're going.
Yeah.
Having
I
a
just want to
conversation
point out
with
Yeah.
AI.
before we actually end today, I just want to point out one thing. It's actually it's- uh, Tesla engineers said that they struggled due to the Cybertruck's design. Do you guys think they made a mistake on the design?
For sure. Yeah. I'm not gonna
Yes.
hesitate with that for sure.
It's strange.
I mean,
It's a
Like,
very-
and I wouldn't be surprised if Elon Musk has put his foot down and said, "No, that's the design we're keeping in that way." You know,
Oh,
like,
for sure. Yeah.
It looks like a shed.
yeah, it doesn't look
Yes.
appealing.
I remember
Uh,
Top Gear had a challenge at one point where they made an electric car, and it was just made of corrugated steel, like thin aluminum sheets.
Mm.
It looked like a Jeep. I think that's where Elon got his idea.
Well, I think Elon is very playful when it comes to things like that. Like he admitted to making his rockets more phallic like just because he said it doesn't really make that much of a difference if your rocket is pointed or rounded.
Interesting.
Yeah, because he was just like, yeah, make it round, kind of like one of those type things. Just a big, I don't know what color it is, a big blue, Be like, oh shit, I seen that in my mom's, I don't know, nightstand. Jesus, now it's flying through the air.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, speaking of playful energy, like I know we've been playful from the start to our Tech Times audience, but in all seriousness, we like to thank each and every one of you for sticking with us for the past couple of episodes. To our subscribers, we love you all. We give you this promise that we will always be our authentic selves in front of you, no matter what, and we do appreciate each and every view that we get.
Yeah,
So,
for
with
sure.
that being said, Thank you for joining us for Tech Talks. And on behalf of Chris and Ryan, have a good one, everyone.
Take care, guys.
Later.